Well, it looks like the continuation of the Dave Chappelle Told No Lies saga continues. We are now at part 11. No, part 12. I was about to say part 11. We just did part 11. We are now at part 12, where Dave Chappelle is winning continuously these days. Like, I think this, like, if they had to talk about a person of the year and they had to do nominees, I would say that Dave Chappelle would probably be one of those nominees, and he would probably be damn near a shoo-in to win because he's literally won the last two quarters of 2021, third and fourth. So what's going on now with Dave Chappelle and Netflix? Well, I don't know if Dave Chappelle is going to do another special for Netflix because The Closer was supposed to be his last one, but he has been selected to be a part for the Netflix is a Joke Festival. I don't know too much about this festival, but he's been selected by Netflix to be a part of it after being quote unquote canceled. Let's go ahead and get into it. This article is coming from The Rolling Stone. Netflix has announced that Dave Chappelle will be headlining a show at the Hollywood Bowl next year as part of the Netflix is a Joke Festival, an 11-day comedy fest with over 130 artists performing at 25 venues across Los Angeles from April 28th through May 8th. The event marks the comedian's latest partnership with the streaming service's September's controversial stand-up special The Closer, which sparked walkouts and internal turmoil at Netflix over what many say were transphobic jokes, and earned the support of likes of Joe Rogan. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos responded to the special's fallout by admitting to fumbling communication with an elite staff memo where he wrote that Chappelle's content on screen doesn't directly translate to real-world harm. He says he should have led with more humanity, although he stands by the special as being essentially harmless. On the same festival lineup that offers Chappelle's a primetime slot is the Greek Theater hosted Standout and LGBTQ+ celebration with Bob the Drag Queen, Eddie Izzard, Fortune Feimster, Gina Yashir, Guy Branum, James Adamian, Joel Kim Booster, Judy Gold, Mae Martin, Margaret Cho, Marsha Warfield, Mateo Lane, Patty Harrison, River Butcher, Sam J, Sandra Bernhard, Scott Thompson, Solomon Giorgio, Tig Notaro, Trixie Mattel, Wanda Sykes, and more. The schedule for the event is mostly finalized with additional show details from select performers, awaiting confirmation to be announced ahead of the festival. Some shows will be recorded and released on Netflix and a full at a later date. Chappelle's will not be recorded. Back in October, Chappelle made a return to the stage with none other than Rogan for a sold-out arena show in New Orleans. During the set, the comedian cracked jokes about cancellation and PC culture, receiving a standing ovation from a crowd of 17,000 fans. Between the individual scale of his own shows and works with Netflix, the funniest joke may be expecting any accountability to come with the notion of being canceled. Listen, like I said, Dave Chappelle has showed us this year of how to not become canceled. I think Dave Chappelle should write a book about this whole thing. Like, he could write a few chapters over in a book based on what has happened in his career in the last couple of months. And I would probably most likely buy it because I would like to know, like, some behind the scenes stuff. Like, what didn't we hear besides all of the stuff that we heard a lot? And we heard a lot of it. So I would definitely purchase that, like, whether it's a hardback book, paperback, or an audio. And if it's an audio, that gives me something to listen to on my my drives, wherever it is that I'm going, something to get me through my drives, or even something just to listen to when I'm not recording these videos or when I just have free time. But I have to give a huge salute to Dave Chappelle because he literally has done something that a lot of entertainers, public figures, celebrities, whatever you want to call them, has managed not to do. And that's stand firm on their square in their beliefs and not be swayed in any direction and like made to bend the knee or anything like that. And what's so funny? Speaking of bend the knee, did the trans community, excuse me, did the trans community ever meet with Dave Chappelle? Because remember, he said, I'll meet with you, but on my terms, on my demands. Like, I'm not going to bend the knee to whatever demands you have. We're going to do it my way or it's no way at all. We never found out if he actually had that meeting with them. And I don't think they ever had the meeting. I don't think they did, honestly. And why would they? Because they know it's not going to go in their favor. Just like when they try to say, oh, we'll meet with Ice Cube if 46 gets in the office. 46 been in office for over a year, or been elected for over a year, and that meeting has not happened. So that's why I said I would not hold my breath, and I highly doubt that the trans community that Dave Chappelle wanted to meet with, and he extended they don't want to extend the invitation. Dave Chappelle accepted it, but he said, we're going to do it on my terms, because you're not going to switch the conversation to whatever it is that you want it to be, and whatever narrative is that it is that you're trying to paint. That's not going to happen. In the minute he said that, I don't think that meeting ever happened. So that tells you right there that they had a plan in place to do something nefarious and in their own way to go against what Dave Chappelle had planned. And as you can see, it didn't work out for them in more ways than one. And it is what it is. But shout out again to Dave Chappelle. He's headlining this comedy festival that's being headed by Netflix. Continuing to get that streaming bag. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I said, the thing is, Dave Chappelle is very marketable and he's very profitable. I think if Dave Chappelle wasn't as marketable or profitable, I don't know what Netflix probably wouldn't have been so much on his side. But Dave Chappelle has a strong team behind him, a good marketing team, a good PR team, and they know how to make him marketable. He knows how to market himself, thus bringing more streams to Netflix. And Netflix was not about to fumble that bag and lose them subscribers. That's why I said, Ted Sarandos, why did you come out and make that statement? Are you trying to ruin what you got going over there? Especially since now Netflix is has a lot of other different shows and movies coming onto that platform. And I think a major part of it is because of what's going on with Dave Chappelle. I have a feeling if they had dropped Dave Chappelle amidst this whole controversy, if you want to call it that, a lot of people would have shopped their stories, their movies or television shows to other streaming platforms, and a lot of the subscribers probably would have left, and Netflix would have started to go down in the streaming list as far as all the streaming services, because there's so many streaming services out there today, and Netflix probably would have taken a dent. So it pretty much is all paying off for parties involved that need it to pay off for them in the end. And as for those who oppose, I guess you can go cry about it. I mean, at the end of the day, that's probably what you can do. And that's probably the only thing that you can do. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments.